Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline. Mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through Sunday. Let's jump into our study group. Turn this music down. I got my scene set. Set your scene right. I got a lot to talk about. Let's hopefully we can just get through a little bit of it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you want coaching or mentoring, go to my website, skyazrael.com. I always put the link below. I'll turn the music down a little bit more so you guys don't get distracted. Let's just jump into this for my hardcore heads. Your daily sacrifice means more than a glorious death. It took me a long time to learn that. A lot of young guys are kind of fantasizing about a glorious death. That's part of the self-destructive nature of youth, I guess, but as you mature, you realize that your daily sacrifice, that little bit that you grind forward, just a little bit today, it matters. It's adding money to your piggy bank, maybe literally going to work today. You hate your job, but your daily sacrifice has more meaning and purpose. What's the meaning and purpose of your life? Your daily sacrifice is the meaning and purpose of your life. You're not working towards a glorious funeral, a statue to be remembered as William Wallace. The internet has convinced low-value, average chicks into thinking they're high-value prizes. There's so many horny guys out there, and any ugly little dumpy chick can post pictures of herself in revealing clothing or in sexy poses on Instagram, and there'll be tens of thousands of you guys lusting after her. You get these fat chicks going around thinking that they're all that. Just because horny losers beg for your pussy doesn't make you shit to a guy like me. Here's a theme for the week. No negative self-talk. None at all. The second you hear any negative self-talk at all, squash it. No self-deprecating humor. No negative self-talk. Become a Nazi with that. On patrol, patrolling that wall, that East German wall, and when you see anything trying to climb over, you run over to it and kill it. No negative self-talk gets in. Only positivity. No negative people. No negative nillies. None of those negative talking, negative acting losers that you regularly hang out with and you know. Skip them this week. No negative self-talk and no negative people. And the third one is no negative environment. You may find yourself at that dingy dive bar. I'm not going to tell you to stop drinking. How about this compromise? You find yourself a high-class joint. You start dressing up and you go find yourself a high-class joint. Instead of drinking 10 beers, you drink one expensive beer and you sip it. And that's your evening at a high-class joint, dressed to the T, drinking an expensive drink, sipping it casually. That's a lot better than being down at that dingy old dive bar with those losers pounding them back, your Pabst Blue Ribbon or whatever. No negative environments. Here's an honest question. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. Everybody's allowed to have their own likes and dislikes, especially with consumerism. But if you dislike culture or an aspect of a culture, it seems like you'll be called racist. So what if you just dislike rap music? Does that make you racist if you strongly dislike rap music? What if you don't like any black music at all? And that's just you. What if you like classical music and you like rock music and you don't listen? I listen to reggae, I listen to some rap, I listen to some black music. But what if you don't? and you don't like any of that stuff, does it make you racist? Because you don't participate in that type of multiculturalism. You just like what you like. Are you allowed to just like what you like, or do you have to conform to what corporate, consumerism and what society in general, what they tell you to like? Are you allowed to not want to learn another language? Could you just like English and you don't want to learn Spanish? I don't want to learn it. I'm not trying to learn it. I don't want to learn it. I don't want to know it. Does that make you racist? Well, you're racist. You don't want to learn Spanish? You don't want to listen to Spanish music? You don't want to go to the Mexican restaurant? I love Mexican restaurants. But what if you don't? Does that make you racist? Are you allowed to not like a culture? Well, if you're white, you're not. That seems to be what's going on here. If you're white, you're not allowed to like anything about yourself. You have to be ashamed of everything that's European history, colonialism, everything. You got to be ashamed of it and embrace and love everything from the third world. Why is there such a double standard? Because I know lots of black people who don't like rock music. That's white boy shit. They don't listen to it at all. I know black guys that are older than me. They've never heard of the Rolling Stones. They don't know who they are. Never heard of them. Never heard of Ozzy Osbourne. Don't know who he is. Don't know anything about it. Never heard of it. You've at least heard of it, but they reject anything that's not within their culture. Because that's white boy shit. Why isn't that racist also? Why does it only go one way? It's just questions. People get triggered off questions. The stronger I get, the more I want purity and to purge impurity from my life. The more I notice it, the more I clean up, the more I notice dirt. I never noticed how dirty the floor was until I started straightening up the house, cleaning the counters. Here's a message to you fighters out there. I'm not saying warriors, but fighters, because some people just love to fight. They'll fight anything. They'll fight their own shadow. They'll fight themselves. Let God fight your battles. For all you fighters, you freedom fighters, you terrorists, you militia members. I don't mean that literally, but some of you are you're so extreme with wanting to fight so much. Sit back and relax. Let God fight those battles for you. He hasn't lost one yet. You lose all the time. How many battles have you lost? Probably most of them. God's never lost a battle. Did you know that young men in Italy who still live at home and they're aged 18 to 36, there's a lot of them. Oh, a lot of them. But it's expensive over there. And there's something cultural within Italy, Italian culture, to stay at home. Here in America, we get out of the nest as fast as possible. Many of us are pushed out. But in Italy, they live at home for that amount of time. And a young man might go from his mother's house, 18 to 34, get married at, say, 34, whatever, 30, finally met a chick, get married. He'll go right from his mother's house into living with his wife. He never really has any time living on his own. And those people, because not everybody does that, but the people that do that, they're called mammoni. That's the Italian word for them, mammoni. Translates into mama's boys. I know a mama's boy at the gym. 32 years old, still lives with his mother. Tattooed up, thinks he's a gangster, still lives with his mother. He's a mammoni. Is anyone who doesn't share your politics or worldview stupid? If they didn't vote the way you voted, are they stupid? Is anyone who voted for Trump stupid? Or how about Harris, Kamala Harris? Is anybody who voted for her stupid? They're all just stupid. Why do people get lost in that? I do sometimes, where I find myself saying everyone is stupid, as if I'm like the only one on earth who gets it, who's smart, and everyone else is stupid. You ever find yourself making that statement? Who are you when you make that statement? When you start thinking everyone else is stupid, who are you then? Let's talk about image. Your image, your fashion, how you put yourself together says a lot about you, whether you like it or not. Even if you're one of these rejectionists and you say, I don't care, you're still putting off a certain image to the world. And your image should project power, confidence, and strength. Does your image project power, confidence, and strength? Here's a question. If liberals hate colonialism so much, and they certainly do complain about it, why do they flock to Europe on vacation? Why is places like Italy and Spain and England just swamped with liberal American tourists, taking pictures, drinking $25 cappuccinos next to the stinky Venice Canal? And they're like, oh, this is so romantic and beautiful. But they despise colonialism. They hate the idea of kings sending ships to foreign lands. Maybe they don't hate colonialism. Maybe left-wing progressives don't hate colonialism. That's a lie they tell. What they hate is America. What they hate is the colony. I don't know. It's just weird. Here's a question. Are you working for wealth or peace? Here's some advice. Keep your mind on God at all times, in all things. Fucking train. I'm not anywhere near the train tracks. I don't live anywhere near the train tracks. And that train sounds like it's in my back fucking yard. This is how Florida is. Small town. I got no buildings, no hills. There's nothing to block that sound. I'm miles from the train. Here's continuing on saving people. You can't save people. I wasn't saved by anyone. I was saved by God. Only God can save you. And if you're wanting to save someone and you can't save them, give up. You can't save them. God can save them. Staying on that thread, but in a different way. You know, talking about suicide, God won't let you commit suicide. God has never let anyone commit suicide, ever. Never, ever. Every suicide that's ever happened has been done by the devil. The devil begs you to do it. Begs you to do it. Rest in peace, Chino XL. Choose the narrow gate. Heaven has a narrow gate. But on your path to heaven, you may see a wide gate. You may see two. That wide gate's a trick. The wide gate where everybody can run through. You're going to bring your friends, your family, your dog, your collection of toys, your jewelry, your watches, all those cool shoes you got. You're bringing everything with you. You're going to have all your baggage and your crew, and you're all going to just rush that wide gate. The wide gate leads you to hell. It's a trick. The wide gate is the porthole to hell. The narrow gate is how you get into heaven. You have to drop your bags to get into the narrow gate. You have to disrobe. You're not even bringing the clothes that you have on you. Oh, that Rolex you got, you're showing it off to me the other day. That's great, but you're not going with it. The Rolex is going to hell. You're going to have to be completely butt naked and shed everything, even the people around you. You go through that narrow gate alone, by yourself, naked. with nothing. Food for thought. Have a good Sunday.